Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Let me start this episode off by saying I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know it's been a while since I've had any videos here on the farm channel, but we've had a lot of other things going on here lately and just now getting around to being able to get more farm content out there for you. All right, let me recollect my thoughts here because as I was doing that intro, the UPS lady pulled in and our dog Sadie took off over toward her, and I had to go kind of rescue her from the dog so she didn't get licked to death. Anyway, like I was saying, we've had a lot of things going on around the farm here lately, just not a lot of real farm content. There's certain little things that I've done. I just didn't take time to get the camera out and, get it all set up and make a video out of it. Anyway, so as you saw in the thumbnail, probably for this video, I finally broke down and did something. So what is this? Been 8-9 years now since we moved back to the farm, and everybody was like, you need to get a side-by-side, you need to get a side-by-side. No, I don't. I've never had one, never needed one, always kept putting it off. I was like, I can either do what I need to do by walking or carrying stuff, or I've got my tractors, or I can use one of the trucks. Well, we finally broke down and we bought a side-by-side. I will say I was always of the mindset that I'm young, I'm active, I'm able to do a whole bunch of stuff. One was that I'm capable of doing stuff, so why buy one? And at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was going, if I get a side-by-side or an ATV and I don't do the things that I'm currently doing, is that going to kind of make me lazy and I'm going to get even more out of shape and let my age start showing even more? And all that sort of stuff. So I was kind of putting off getting a UTV, ATV, just out of personal health benefits. I thought the more physically active I am on the farm, the better shape I'm going to be in. Well, there comes a point in time where, your body does eventually start getting to the point where you just can't do certain things you could do before. And I'm not going to say I'm at that point, but I do appreciate certain luxuries in life now that I always didn't think that I would need or want to have to take advantage of. But anyway, let me show you what we bought and kind of explain to you just kind of in brief detail why we bought it, this over some of the other things that were out there, some of the options we had that we were looking at. So first off, you see right there, Segway. I will say that when we went to go look at side-by-sides the other day, my daughter Taryn and I we went to go look at Hisoon side-by-sides. They're everywhere. You see them in big box stores. You see them in ATV, power sports dealerships. You see them everywhere. And that's what we went to go test drive, and that's what we did. We test drove several of them. Unfortunately, they were kind of small, and they were extremely loud, and they kind of felt underpowered, honestly, for what I was going to be spending for one. And I was talking to the dealer about it, and he's like, hey, come in the showroom, let me show you these Segway side-by-sides. And I was like, Segway, you mean like the scooter company? He's like, yeah, but they have a power sports division, and they're kind of new kid on the block, but they've got a lot of upside to them. So I go in, I listen to him tell me about this, and I immediately noticed just how much larger this thing is than those Hisoon ones. Those Hisoon ones, with me and my daughter in the bench seat, you couldn't get anybody in between us. Even though they're supposed to be a 3-person bench, you couldn't get 3 people in there. This is truly a 3-person bench seat. It is significantly wider. I'll back up here and show you. This machine is significantly wider than the Hisoon. It's a touch taller, not a whole lot taller, but it is also a lot more powerful. So the Hisoon that I was looking at was a 750 class side-by-side. I was actually looking at the Striker 750. Stunning machine. It's beautiful looking. It really is has a lot of eye appeal to it. And that's what we were looking at. That's what we went to go test drive. That 750cc class machine only produces like 35, 36 horsepower, something like that. This is a 600 class machine, pretty small motor. I wasn't even looking at something this small, but it's technically, I think it's a 567cc engine. Well, it puts out 44 horsepower. Not only that, this thing has a much larger hydraulic assist. Let me show you. So lift this up and it dumps on its own. This has I believe it's 1,000-pound payload capacity. significantly wider than the Hisoon comparable, the 750, the Striker 750, all their 750 class side-by-sides. 1,000-pound payload capacity, if I'm not mistaken, whereas the 750 class Hisoon versions only had a 600-pound payload. This also has a 2,500-pound towing capacity. Not that I expect to ever use that, but, you know, I drag a lot of logs around here on the farm. Normally I use the tractor to do that. But if I'm ever in a situation where I can't get the tractor to one of them, I can take this to it, hook up to a small log, and I can drag it out of the woods with this, whereas I might not be able to with my tractor because none of my tractors are four-wheel drive. All right, so sitting down here in the driver's seat, and we'll just turn the key over to start the power. And you see it's got this really neat looking LCD screen here. Really modern feel to it. Let's see if I can zoom in on it here and show you. So you see the EPS. This comes standard with electronic power steering. So do the Hisoons. But when you start trying to compare to the name brand, your Yamahas, Polaris, your Kawasaki's, your CanAms, most of them nowadays do not come with that. A lot of the features that this machine comes with standard are upgrades on those, and I'll get to that a little bit more here later. This also has, see the M right there? I can actually adjust the sensitivity of the power steering. So it has a low, medium, and a high setting, which basically is just the responsiveness of the power steering. It has low gear, high gear, obviously, and neutral and reverse. This one does not have a park, but you have like the old school, can you see it there? Let me back out. You got like the old school Toyota pickup truck T-handle there where you just pull it out to put your park and brake on, and then, you know, you just push the button behind it and push it in. And man, I don't know, I might be showing my age there. A lot of people probably don't remember those old Toyota T-handles. This big thing here in the center, it looks like a screen. Well, on this model, which this is the UT6M, that's basically just a storage compartment. Let me show you. There we go. It's just a storage compartment. On the UT6S, which is the base model for the UT6, the 600 class machine, it's also just a storage compartment. But if you step all the way up to the P, to the premium version, this is a huge, it's like the size of a iPad Pro touchscreen here, where it's got all kinds of diagnostics for your machine that you can look at. You can control different features and settings with it there. So this is the middle of the road machine. This is not the premium, but it's also not the base. Adjustable front shocks here. I believe it's a 9.5-inch ride height in the front, and I believe it's 10 or 10.5 in the back. Also adjustable there as well. And it does, because this is the M version. The M version does come standard with a 4,500-pound winch. And this is a wireless control, but it also has like I think it's a 10-foot long wire as well, or cable as well. I haven't measured to see exactly how long it is. That's just going from the eye, what it looks to be, just kind of coiled up the way it is. But it does come with a wireless remote and a cable remote. You see, it comes with daytime LED running lights, and it does have high and low beams. It is wired for turn signals, but if you want to make it, if you want to install the turn signal control module, I think it's a $600 option. I don't have that. And you'll notice mine currently does not have the windshield. They did not have any windshields when we picked this up. They have ordered it, and it's coming in, and then they're actually going to come to my house and install the windshield for me when it arrives. Same thing with the mirrors. Mirrors are standard on this M model, whereas they're not on the base model. And then the P model, you know, they obviously, everything that the M has, the P has, and then a little bit more. So I will say that when we got to the dealership there and we were looking around and he suggested that I check out these Segways, I didn't know anything about them. So I was really, really hesitant to even look at them. But I thought, you know what? I owe it to myself to check it out. And so he actually put me in a UT10P, which is this same body style, but instead of a 600 cc class engine, it's a 1000 cc. That bumped me up to a 104 horsepower engine in that thing. And it would throw you back in your seat. I took off on that thing, and it was seriously, it was like driving a car. It was that kind of responsiveness, and it was a 2-cylinder instead of just a single-cylinder engine like that is. So it purred. I mean, it sounded more like a vehicle instead of your traditional UTV, ATV single-cylinder engine kind of thumping rumble kind of sound that it makes. It's kind of I can't even explain. It's kind of raw and just uncontrolled, if you want to call it, I guess. It's just a very different, anybody that has one knows what I'm talking about. But so we left the dealership. He priced everything for me. He priced 3 different Hisun's for me, and he priced the UT10P to me. And it was more than I was wanting to pay, and it was more engine than I needed. As much as I would love to have 104 horsepower, I don't need 104 horsepower. So we came home, talked to my wife about it, and I called him back and was talking to him. He's like, hey, I've got this 6 setting here, and it's an M spec. And he's like, I think it's probably more like what you're looking for. And he said, and not only that, but they have some really good incentives on it right now. So he ran the numbers on it for me, and I actually ended up getting to drive this one away. Actually, he delivered it to me 45 minutes after I purchased it. He delivered it to my house 45 minutes after. I was able to buy this one. Bigger machine, more power, more payload, pretty much the same features of the Hisun. Yeah, it's missing the front windshield, but he's bringing the front windshield. This one's missing the rear window. I could buy a rear window for a couple $100 if I wanted to, and I might do that. And then the Hisuns have half doors on both sides. This one does not. They don't. The half doors aren't available for Segway at this time. Maybe eventually I get them. So yeah, you got a little bit of a discrepancy there. But the big thing is I'm getting a bigger machine, a true 3-person, 3-seater machine. 44 horsepower versus 36. 1,000-pound dump bed capacity versus 600-pound dump bed capacity, and 2,500-pound towing capacity. I think the Hisun was 1,500. Can't remember. I didn't pay a lot of attention to that at the time. But I was able to get this with all those benefits for $3,000 less than the Hisun. Same warranty also. 2-year warranty. Now, the catch, and what everybody on here who probably watches this that are looking at Segways, and just, you always have people that are looking to troll and inflame and create chaos too. The big knock on Segway really is his dealer network. They are so new to the market in the U.S. They've only been making these machines for 2-3 years now, as far as I understand it. You don't have a large dealer network. Thankfully, this dealer is 20 miles from my house. No big deal. The next closest Segway dealer to me is about 100 miles away. It's not terrible, actually, really. Yeah, it's not the same as, like the 8 Yamaha or CanAm or Polaris dealers that I have within 50 miles of me. Yeah, it's nothing like that. But 20 miles to the closest, and then currently 100 miles to the second. Whereas he's telling me too that there are new Segway dealers coming on daily. There's probably in the next couple of years, there'll be another one within 100 miles of me. So it's not like there's a terrible dealer network. And the reviews that I've seen on it are actually very favorable. So looking forward to working this into our farm life workflow. It's currently in the break-in phase. So the first 10 engine hours on it, I'm taking it really easy. I'm just, I'm trying to keep the RPMs moderate, not putting a lot of stress on it. I want to get it broken in well. We're going to take it back in. Actually, he offered to come pick it back up and bring it back to his dealership for me to do the 10-hour service on it, get all that first change of oil out, check all the fluids on everything else, re-grease everything, check bolt tightness on everything for me, and then bring it back. And then I'll be able to really be able to put it through its paces. Once I've got the break-in period done, and then I can start really trying to climb the hill back here behind my house. For those who don't know, if you've not watched many videos, the hillside behind my house, it's like 160 feet elevation gain from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill. Well, that 160 feet elevation gain happens in about 300 yards. So it's very steep. It's really steep. I mean, most people, when they come out here, they can't climb my hillside without stopping a couple of times to take it. I do it so much that I can go all the way up it typically without having to stop and catch my breath, unless I'm carrying a 40-45 pound pack on my back. It's still going to be a pretty good strain on a machine if I've got it loaded down with several hundred pounds of firewood or whatever I may be taking down to the bottom of the hill. So looking forward to rolling this into our farm life, work life. Hopefully we can put it into work here in the next couple days here. Hunting season's still going on, so if you want to see anything about that, that's over on the outdoor channel we got. Maybe we can put it to work hauling some meat out of the woods. We'll see. But just wanted to show you guys this. I'm very pleased with it, but I'm going to try to do regular updates on this because it is so new to market. There's not a lot of stuff out there on the Segway models. The UT10s have quite a bit of content out there because they've been around longer than the UT6s. So I'm going to try to do regular updates on it just so people can know if I have any issues with it. I'm going to be very transparent and let you know what it is, because I don't want, if I have problems, I don't want someone else to go into this and experience those problems and think that I hid something from you. You know what I mean? Just try to be as transparent and honest as I can. That's probably going to be it for this video, everybody. I thank you so much for coming along. It is flipping cold and windy out here today. We had terrible winds and storms come rolling through last night. So my hands are like just red from the wind out here right now. I hope you can hear me okay. I hope this wind muff on my mic is working and it doesn't just sound like a whole bunch of static on this video whenever I go to edit it. But anyway, there she is. Looking forward to rolling her in. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning, I wish you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you around. God bless.